blushing brides and aspiring or current wedding planners. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Be sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss any of my upcoming wedding planning or event design videos. I post new videos every week. In this video, I'm talking all things dusty blue. I'll start off with some specific palette ideas and some inspiration with those so that you can see how they look. And then I'll go into more specific dusty blue wedding details. If you are planning a dusty blue wedding, be sure that you head over and check out my dusty blue wedding shop, where you can shop all of my favorites for dusty blue bridesmaids dresses, wedding invitations, signs, escort cards, and other decor. I'll put some dusty blue bachelorette party stuff in there if you want everything to coordinate. Also, bridesmaids accessories and wedding favors. So all things dusty blue in my dusty blue wedding shop. I will link that below, so head over there and check that out after you watch this. All right, let's get into some dusty blue palettes that I love. These are so beautiful, and a lot of them I haven't really seen before, so I'm hoping they're new to you as well. First up, I'm gonna go with kind of a more classic look, which is dusty blue, slate blue, ice blue, and then you could do like greenery and white, and you could also do some gold in with this one. So here's a bridesmaid's look with this mix and match blue with greenery and white, and she also did some neutrals in the ribbon on her bridesmaid's floral, and as well as some like peaches and stuff in there. Another great wedding color palette with dusty blue is a dusty blue with taupe and dove gray, so like dusty blue plus neutrals and then gold and white. Another kind of classic look. And by the way, all of these palette cards will be linked in my dusty blue shop as well, so if you see any that you really like, you can go download them there, and then you can print them off and add them to your wedding binder, your vision board, or whatever. Another dusty blue palette that I love is dusty blue, slate blue, and then add in copper, plus greenery and white. Dusty blue with the copper, there's something about that, it just looks so beautiful. Here's a tabletop with that theme. They did the dusty blue runner, like a chiffon runner, lots of greenery in their florals, and then they did a copper charger and copper silverware, and then a dusty blue napkin. It looks like they did some golds throughout the tabletop as well, and maybe even some silver, just full on mixed metals. That's really pretty too. And also, if you look closely, you'll see that some of the leaves are actually copper in the floral in this wedding. It's really, really pretty. They must have just spray painted some of the leaves copper before they added them into the arrangements. So that is a really pretty idea if you want some pops of copper or pops of metallic. Another great dusty blue palette is dusty blue, slate blue, and then like a dove gray plus lavender and dusty plums. We got some blues and some purples here. So the main colors in this one are the dusty blue and the lavender would be more of the focus, and then the dusty plum, I just liked the look of that, but you could do really any darker shade of purple there. Here's some bridesmaids dresses with that color scheme. So she did some dusty blue, and then she did some different colors of the lavender. So it's probably like a lilac and a lavender technically. And then also one girl was in more of a like twilight blue, or just a little bit of a brighter blue. So I loved how this turned out, and then she did the purples and pinks in her floral as well. Another amazing palette that I love that's definitely growing in popularity lately is dusty blue and blush, and then I would add in a dusty rose here too, and then plus greenery and white. You could also do the dusty blue and blush with a dusty rose and then add in a red as well. You would probably stick with like the blush, the dusty rose, and the red would be in your floral, and then dusty blue would be in your other decor. It really ties together beautifully. Another great dusty blue palette is dusty blue rust taupe, gold and white. I love this one. This would be so beautiful in the fall too. And here's an idea of what you could do. So she has one girl in the dusty blue, and then some like rust dresses, as well as some neutrals and even a sage green, it looks like. But it all comes together so beautifully. Another really pretty dusty blue palette idea would be to do dusty blue and slate blue, get your shades of blue, and then do like a peachy pink, yellow, and greenery. So this would be really pretty in the spring or summer, and you would probably do most of your decor in like the dusty blue and slate blue, and then you would bring out the pinks and the yellows and the greens in your floral. So here's an idea of how that could look. So you do the dusty blue chiffon runner and then like the peachy yellow floral with greenery, just like I said. Another amazing idea is to do dusty blue with like more bright colors like red, orange, yellow, and blush. Here's an example of that where they did the dusty blue in the linens and then they did some little like, it looks like kumquats or some little oranges on the plate and then the oranges and pinks and reds in the floral. That turned out really beautiful and I like how they added the gold there too. And then you could also just do dusty blue with bright purples and magenta and yellows and oranges. So like dusty blue plus pops of bright colors. And here's an idea of a bride who did that. She has her bridesmaids in like dusty blues and silvers and then did more of like a wildflower look for her floral that turned out really, really beautiful. Now that you have some ideas on dusty blue color palettes and how to incorporate those into your wedding, let's talk some of my specific dusty blue favorites. All of this stuff will be linked in my Dusty Blue Wedding Shop, which I'll link below. So if you see anything that you like, be sure to head over there so you can shop it. Really quick, before I dive into the other ideas, here's places that you can incorporate your wedding colors into your wedding day, and then I'll show you ideas for each. So number 1 is your save the dates and invitations. Number 2 is your bridesmaids and groomsmen attire. 3 is signs. 4 is feature wall or backdrop, your menu, food and drink, tabletop and floral, seating chart and escort/place cards, and then your favors. And you don't have to incorporate it in every single one of these places. These are just ideas of where you could incorporate it. All right, let's look at some dusty blue invitation ideas. So all of these invitations are from Minted. I've been looking around at tons of other websites and like Etsy and everything, and like I just really like the designs on Minted. So I love this one. I did it in the arch shape, and this is more of like a slate blue, but I believe you can get this one in a custom color, so you could do a lighter dusty blue if you wanted to as well. And this is obviously more of a formal one. And here's a look at the full suite. So you could just get the classic like rectangle shape as well, and they have a bunch of other shapes you can pick from. And then you can get a details card, and then also a really pretty RSVP card. And it's nice to order your thank you cards along with your invitation so everything goes together. And they also have the envelopes with the matching envelope liners. Here's another pretty dusty blue idea. I'm obsessed with arches, so you'll see arches a lot throughout this video. I love how they did the arch within the floral here. And this one is a little bit more formal as well, but you could totally change the wording if you wanted to make it a little bit less formal and even just do like your first names instead of first and last names. And here's a look at this suite. I love how they did like the watercolor on the other cards, and then just did the floral on the invitation and the thank you card. And then one more dusty blue invitation is just the solid dusty blue with the gold paint swashes on the top and bottom. And it's real gold foil. You can see as it turns, it like actually is shiny. And the cool thing about this one is you can customize the color of the foil too. So if you were gonna do like that dusty blue and copper instead of the dusty blue and gold, you could switch out the foil. I think they have like copper, they have silver, they have brass. They have a bunch of things to choose from, so you can really customize this to your liking, and then you can also change the background color on this one as well, but I went with dusty blue since this is my dusty blue video. So I'll link these invitations below, but they will also be featured in my Dusty Blue Wedding Shop. So if you are doing dusty blue, I highly recommend heading over to that page after this. I'll link it below because I'll just have a bunch of different invitation ideas and all the ideas all in one place. All right, a few bridesmaids dresses for you. So for this video, I just stuck with the Birdie Gray bridesmaids dresses because I really love the color and the styles, and I just love the dresses. If you've watched my channel, you know that I just am obsessed with this bridesmaid dress company. It's definitely my favorite. But in my Dusty Blue shop, I will also link a bunch of other different options as well. So the first dress is the Jan dress, and this is actually an older dress in their line. I think they're starting to phase it out, but it's definitely one of my favorites. But since they are phasing it out, they do have a limited quantity available, and it's also like 50% off. So if you want that one, you definitely want to grab it soon. A few other dusty blue dresses for you. So here's really cute mix and match of the dusty blues. So the one on the left is going to be a convertible dress, and I absolutely love this dress because you can have your girls all in the same dress and they can decide how they want to wear it. And it just looks cohesive because it actually is the same dress, but they can still kind of find their style or find what looks best on them. And I will link all these dresses below as well. They also recently released these floral dresses. So this is their floral dusty blue in the Devon convertible dress. And this one can be worn 2 different ways. So you can just do the spaghetti straps, or you can have the straps plus the off the shoulder straps as well. And I love the floral on that, it's really beautiful. And then the third one on here is the Hannah dress, and bridesmaid dresses with sleeves are totally in again, and they look really cute, and I love that color. And then one more that I really love is the Benny crepe dress. This one's really pretty. I love the back of it. So that's my dusty blue bridesmaid dresses picks, and like I said, I'll have a ton more dusty blue bridesmaids dresses linked in my dusty blue wedding shop. So definitely head over there after this. All right, let's talk dusty blue wedding signs. So this first one is from Etsy. The wedding signs that you'll find on Etsy are all just wedding sign templates. Well, like 99% of them. And you have to print them yourself. So don't like get on there and think, like get excited that it's only like $8, because then you still have to print it and it will all kind of end up costing the same in the end. But I did find this one on Etsy that's like the watercolor, and it looks really pretty. And then you could print this off and you could either hang it on a stand like this with the straps, or you could do an easel or something like that. And then the other signs that I'm going to show you are from Minted. I love the idea of Minted just because they actually print it for you and they have it all set up and you can get it all in one place and it's easy. Whereas with Etsy you have to like figure out where you want things printed, and it's like kind of a whole thing, and you have to design the poster. So if you're into design and you're good at that stuff, then that's great and that can definitely work for you. But if you want something that's easier, like a little bit more plug and play, Minted like gives you a design ceremony. And then if you wanted a little bit more dusty blue in your ceremony, you could also do some drapery. Here's a really pretty idea. This one's from our Italian fairy tale blog, and they did it draped just over a tree. Here are some dusty blue drapery options I found on Amazon. I would probably order like 3 different ones from Amazon and then pick the color that you like the best so that you can get the right shade of dusty blue. But these ones are really long and somewhat reasonably priced, so you could definitely use those for your ceremony. And then you could also reuse these in the reception as like a table runner or as a backdrop behind your sweetheart table as well. Like I said, these are just from Amazon, so I will link those below and in the dusty blue shop too. Next up, we have some dusty blue menu ideas. So these ones are all from Minted as well, because like I said, I just think it's way easier to go through Minted because they print them for you and everything. Whereas Etsy, they do have tons of options, but then you have to go get them printed yourself. So I love this one that just says menu on it. If you're gonna do dusty blue napkins and you're gonna have the napkins on the plate, you might not want to do a dusty blue menu on top of that because it would just be too much and they wouldn't be exactly matching. So I would opt for either a neutral color, maybe like a taupe or a gray or a white napkin, and then do the dusty blue menu if you really wanted to do the menus in the dusty blue, or do the dusty blue linen and then have the menus be white, and maybe you could do blue font on the menus. I love this leafy one. This is really beautiful. And then this one on the right is part of that collection that I showed you at the beginning, the layered collection, and I just chose a different shape in the menu, and that would look really great sitting down on your plates when your guests come to the table. Next up is our dusty blue tabletop and floral ideas. So here is the table from the first editorial, the Junebug Weddings editorial, that did the dusty blue with the rust and the reds and the yellows. So they went with a brighter blue tablecloth here, and I love that they did the gold chairs with this. A few close-ups on this. It looks like they did black plates, and then they did some like copper details. So they had the copper napkins, which looks really, really pretty, and then like a coppery, rusty looking table number, which looks really cool. And here's a view from the top, and they did incorporate that dusty blue into a lot of their floral. And then I also wanted to show this because this was part of the shoot as well. I like the idea of having like little snack platters on the table already. Like, you don't have to do full charcuterie platters on every table, but if your caterer could do this for you where they had like just some bread and some fruit and stuff, this would look really pretty even if it was just on the head table. All right, here is the next table. This is from the Green Wedding Shoes editorial. It's like a secret garden theme. So they did the dusty blue with your reds and your pinks and your blush, and they added in lots of gold and mixed metal accents here. So they did the dark blue charger and then the floral china on top of that, and it looks really beautiful. Everything kind of has like a vintage antique feel as well. And they went with silverware. I love the mirror on the plate. That's actually a really cool idea. You could even do like have your menu on the mirror if you wanted to really go all out here. And then here's some more of those touches on the table. They did some like really pretty glassware, and then I like the black candlestick. That's really cool. And then here's the simple table setting from Nicole and Sheldon's wedding that is from the 100 layer cake blog. They just did dusty blue napkins, and they stuck with white textured linen for the tablecloth, and then they did white plates and gold silverware, and then they did some sea glass place cards as well. And then the other wedding is Caitlyn and Cameron's wedding, and they did more of the dusty blue and shades of blue with greenery, like more of the classic dusty blue look. And they did the farm tables with no linens. I love that look so much. And here's a closer look at the place setting. So they did some pretty heavy greenery throughout the table and then added a little bit of floral in that. And then they went with a clear charger with a dusty blue plate and then a white plate on top of that with a white menu with the blue text, and then just a piece of greenery with a really pretty tag on it. And it looks like they maybe did brass silverware. And they added in some mixed candles as well. And here is their table numbers, just like the basic watercolor table numbers Next up, we have some dusty blue seating chart ideas. So this is the seating chart from Nicole and Sheldon's wedding. It looks like this is the only picture that they had on there, so I couldn't really get an up-close look at the tags, but it looks like they did a big board with watercolor tags. Here are a few other seating chart ideas. So this first one is actually an acrylic sign, and I know it's pink on here. They didn't have the dusty blue option shown on the website. It's from Etsy, but you can get the paint to be dusty blue on the back. So I love this. It's all handmade and it would be really beautiful. And this is also something you can make yourself. I am gonna do some videos on how to do these acrylic signs coming up, so keep an eye out for those. And then a few other options from Minted if you just wanna have it done and printed and easy for you. This solid one goes along with that first set. This is from the layered set. And then they also have this really cool watercolor one that I like. That has actually a few different watercolor options that you can choose from. And I think there was like 2 or 3 of them that had like a dusty blue in them. So you can definitely go check that out. I will link this below. Let's look at some escort card ideas. So I did escort cards and place cards. I love this solid one. It looks a little bit more formal, but it's the solid blue with the gold paint on it. And this one, you can again choose the different colors of foil, just like the invitation that matches this one. The one in the middle here is actually all hand done. This is an Etsy artist. I'll link these below. So they're hand dyed, and then they do the calligraphy of each of your guests' names. So if you wanted something that was a little bit more high end, you could do that. And then another Minted idea that I really liked were these ones, and these are a lighter dusty blue color, but I just loved the font on them. I thought they looked really pretty. All right, next up, let's look at some dusty blue favor ideas. I like finding something that's like meaningful and makes sense for you as a couple, like maybe something local that means something to you guys, like syrup or tea or coffee or something like that. And then you can add your color in your theme into your tags. So this first favor tag goes along with that whole collection that I've been talking about this whole time, the layered collection, and then you could just tie this on with some ribbon onto whatever your favor is. It would also look really cute on bottle openers, which is like one of my favorite favors. If you haven't seen my favors video, definitely watch that. But I like the idea of just having a beautiful, simple, dusty blue tag that you add onto it instead of trying to figure out how to get dusty blue into your actual favor. And then I also love this one with the ampersand, with the floral ampersand and the simple names. Another one of my favorite wedding favors is luggage tags. I think that's definitely a useful one. And this Etsy shop actually offers them in a dusty blue color, so I'll link these below. This would make for a very dusty blue favor table if you had all of the favor tags. And then a few other like accessory ideas that you could use. So I found this ribbon, this really beautiful chiffon ribbon on Amazon. I'll link it below. You could use it to tie on your favor tags. And you could also use this ribbon in lots of different places throughout your wedding if you wanted to add really pretty touches of dusty blue. And then I also found another seller on Etsy who does these custom wax seals. They actually have where you can pick the floral that you have on them, or they'll make you a custom one from scratch with your names or your initials or however you want it. So I'll definitely link that below for you. And then it's just self-adhesive. So you could use these on your invitations, you could use them on your favors, you could use them on your menus. And having something like this that you use throughout a couple different times really makes the whole thing cohesive and adds a special touch. So I love that idea, and they're super easy. They make them for you and then you just stick them on like stickers. I hope this video on all things dusty blue was helpful to you. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. Also, let me know in the comments below which dusty blue palettes you'll be using or which dusty blue ideas that I talked about that you'll be incorporating. I would love to hear from you. And then if you're not already, be sure you're subscribed. Share this video with your fellow brides and wedding planner friends, and we'll see you next time. Happy planning.